Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. And again today, I'm your co-host, Mike Bailey, along with Ellen DePlacido. Good morning again, Ellen.
Good morning again, Mike.
Hey, last time we talked a little bit about, well, maybe more than a little bit, about soil and the fact that it's not just dirt and the important role that it plays, in the life of your plant. And we decided to add a little bit more to this whole concept, didn't we? Because it is important, and we wanted to make sure that it got its due. So therefore, we want to talk a little bit more about adding organic material and the important role of organic material in your garden. And when we talk about organic material that you might add, it can come in a variety of different shapes, can't it, Ellen?
Yeah.
And down at our Emmaus garden, what do we use?
We use dried leaves, decaying leaves, plant material from the previous year. We always clean our garden at the end of the year and use that material. We use some roots from the old plants because we pull the plants up, and grass clippings.
Oh, grass clippings, yes.
Grass clippings, because nothing is treated down there. So when we mow, there's Mike. He's adding the grass clippings to each of our beds, which is great. And sometimes we even go out and we'll buy some straw bales and put that on our beds.
You're right.
Also.
Okay, and that really kind of helps enrich our soil, doesn't it? And over a period of time, we've really developed some really nice garden soil.
Yes, we have.
And to feed, and all that organic material, like we said, kind of feeds those earthworms, those bugs, and those beetles, and those ants, and everything else, which in turn pass that organic material along to the smaller little creatures, in that organic material in the soil, and then when it gets down to the viruses and the bacteria and the funguses, where it actually breaks down into the mineral components, that can be absorbed by the plants. So it really kind of serves as a nice food source, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, we don't have to fertilize. I mean, we don't use things on the garden other than these organic materials that we use.
You're right.
Up.
It almost acts like a slow release fertilizer, doesn't it?
That's a good word. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I always like to think of it like that. We're putting that organic material in there, and over the course of the season, it gets broken down. And in fact, some of our gardens, are what we call no-till, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah. A couple of years now, we've been doing no-till for a few of those beds.
Yeah, and we like to do a variety of different things in the Emmaus garden because we have kids and other adults come through, and it kind of serves as a
demonstration.
Demonstration garden. Yes. And what is a no-till bed?
Well, I like to call it a lasagna bed. It has layers of organic material that we add, but we don't turn that bed over. In other words, we don't disrupt that soil. We keep that, what do you call that, biodiversity, micro...
Yeah, that biosphere that's there.
Yeah,
actually...
We don't disturb that.
It has different degrees of earthworms and bugs and beetles involvement, and, and they set up a nice little, sphere, within that. So you're right, we don't upset it. And what we do when we plant, say like tomatoes and peppers are like that, we just take that garden fork in one spot and kind of stick it down in there and just rock it back and forth a little bit. And
create a little space so we can set that plant right in there without disturbing.
You're right.
Yeah.
And we put you back together a little bit, and then you got that thick layer of decaying organic material on top there. And guess what it does? You don't have to weed.
I know. Okay. We don't weed.
We don't weed. It retains a lot of nice moisture, and it kind of moderates the temperature of the soil also. All good things for growing good, healthy food. Now, and the nice thing about it is it cuts down on the work, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We like that.
So that organic material also kind of keeps that soil nice and light and friable. What you don't want is that, a lot of us start with clay. In our particular area of the country, but adding a lot of organic material kind of helps to keep those clay particles from binding together. So you get a lot of that in there. So, and we'll use mushroom compost also.
Yes, we do. We add some of that. We have to be careful. We don't want to add too much, but we usually do a light layer of mushroom compost on top of our beds.
Right. And, you kind of mix it into
Yeah.
the top, 6-8 inches
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So,
Some folks might be thinking whether or not we compost, and we do have compost piles, but we have to be careful and make sure that it has decayed enough
you're right. And
so that we don't plant weed seeds and
right.
things like that.
And what I did the other day, okay, and Ellen and I had talked about this. I took some of the soil out of our compost pile and I put it in a couple of pots.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah.
I have it in my yard right now at home because I wanted to keep an eye on it. And I'm going to watch to see whether I get any weed growth out of that compost.
So we'll know whether or not it's
Yeah.
ready to use.
before I put that on the garden. So and I took that soil, just so you know, Ellen,
Okay.
out from under that black tarp.
Yes.
And the black
Okay.
tarp really allows it to heat up nice,
It
doesn't it?
does. Yeah, we keep it. We try to keep all of the pile covered with the black tarp, but I think we have to get another tarp. Our pile's getting kind of large.
Yeah, you're right.
We need to heat that up.
Yeah. Okay, and it kind of kills off those weed seeds
Right.
that are in there. So, Ellen, it looks like we used our time,
Okay.
but that was a lot of nice information about, soil
Right.
over the last 2 sessions. So, thank you, everybody, for listening.